Hey guys, welcome back. I thought I'd go ahead and follow up from my Blue Eyes video from the post September 2018 ban list, and I'm presenting you guys my Dark Magician deck. This is the Turbo Fusion version of the deck, so yes, it's running Keeper of Dragon Magic, which I'll get to in just a moment. And yeah, I've actually playtested this on YGO Pro. It's a really fun deck, really competitive. It's just got a lot of advantages, because like now you have a more consistent way of bringing out Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. Heck, you could even bring out Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight too. So anyway, I already checked out Team Samurai's video. I thought it was pretty good, but the only thing I didn't like is that it didn't run any hand traps, and hand traps are always an important staple in the meta. So I thought I'd go and share with what my version of the deck and see what you guys think. So starting off, of course, you'll be running the standard 3 Dark Magicians. Like for any iconic monster or any themed deck, you always gotta run 3 of the boss monster, depending on what deck you're running, of course. If it was Monarchs, I wish Ether was, semi-limited at least, but she's still stuck at 1, so Erebus is gonna be like my main guy. But for now, we're focusing on Dark Magician. Next up, of course, you're gonna be running 3 copies of A Prince's Illusion. Pretty standard. Discard 1 card, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, you can add 1 Dark Magician from your deck to your hand. So really great card, and she also acts as an Honest, both from your hand and on your field. Whenever your Dark Spellcasters engage a battle, you can discard or tribute this monster from the, or let's see, I don't know if it's tribute or not. Let's see. Okay, you have to send. It doesn't count as tribute. You can send this card from your field to the grave and boost that Dark Spellcaster's attack points by 2,000. It also works on defense points, so pretty good. And of course, 2 copies of Magician of Dark Illusion, just because he counts as Dark Magician while he's on the field. And also, whenever you activate a spell or trap during your opponent's turn, you can special summon this card directly from your hand. And also, if you activate a spell or trap, you can special summon 1 Dark Magician from your graveyard. So, really excellent card. One of my personal favorites of the deck, but only play at 2 because it can get cloggy at 3. Moving on, you're going to have one of your best normal summons of the entire deck, which is 3 copies of Magician's Rod. Helps you search out your Dark Magician related spells and traps a lot faster, like your Circle, your Navigation, your Eternal Soul. So pretty standard. And of course the new tech card, Keeper of Dragon Magic. This is really great. Another one of your best normal summons, because when this card is normal or special summon, you can discard 1 card from your hand, add 1 Polymerization normal spell or Fusion normal spell from your deck to your hand. So like this card can tech out pretty well, like in other fusion-based decks. So Keeper of Dragon Magic is definitely a great card, and it's a dragon type, so obviously it'll play as fusion material for your Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. So I think it's really great. And also, you can reveal 1 fusion monster in your extra deck, special summon 1 of those fusion materials whose name is specifically listed on that card from your graveyard, I believe, in face-down defense position. You can only use this effect once per turn, and you cannot special summon any other monsters from the extra deck except fusion monsters. So, yeah, definitely a great card to run, just because, again, you can search out Polymerization a lot quicker, you can fusion summon a lot more effectively, so definitely a great card. And then the last of the main monsters, we're running Dark Magician Girl, just because, I don't like to run any more than just 1, just because, she's just there for support, and plus, Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, is a really great card, but now it's more consistent that way. For the hand traps, running 3 copies of Ash, 2 Ogres, because Ogre is going to be really good against Floodgates, and 2 Veilers. I would have done the Sideframe engine, but I feel like Ogre is going to be slightly better for right now, just because, Floodgates, because like Sideframe gears only negate monster effects, where Ogre can pop like spells and traps as well, like continuous ones specifically, so you kind of want to get rid of those Floodgates as quickly as you can. And Effect Veiler, just to negate monster effects. So I feel like those were the best choices. Alright, so moving on to the spells. Gonna be running for Draw Strength. 3 Allure Darkness. Pretty standard. I would have run the Spellbook engine, but I felt like the Allure Darkness tech was actually a little bit better. Mainly because, like, the fact that it's a good card to, bait out cards like Ash Blossom, or even Drone Lockbird. I mean, I'm not too worried on Drone Lockbird half the time on this deck, because, like, yeah, you do a lot of searching, but at the same time, you don't rely on it as heavily as you think. So that's why I feel like Allure Darkness is good, and plus Dark Magician is a deck that built to where you special summon during your opponent's turn, not your own turn. So that's why I feel like Allure of Darkness is not a bad choice. And of course, running the 3 circles, gotta be able to banish problematic cards. So whenever Dark Magician is summoned, once per turn you can target 1 card on the field and banish it from the game. So yeah, Dark Magical Circle, definitely a must. And of course, since I mentioned we're playing 2 copies, a Polymerization can search it out a lot quicker. I'm probably going to find another one with this art because I like this art a lot better, just so we can have a matching pair. But it's still Polymerization regardless, so I'm not too worried. You can also run Fusion Substitute if you want. Like, I kind of agree with Team Samurai. Like, Fusion Substitute is a good option too, but I feel like Polymerization is going to be the better one. But yeah, I mean, it just really depends on preference. For the single spells, we have 1 Illusion Magic, tribute 1 Spellcaster to add up to 2 copies of Dark Magician from your deck or your graveyard back to your hand. 1 Dark Magic attack just to wipe out back row. 1 Dark Magic Inheritance. Search out and banish 2 spells to add 1 Dark Magician spell or Dark Magician Girl related spell or trap. And then of course, Monster Reborn. Standard, you know. Every card's Monster Reborn still legal, so gotta just have fun with it, you know. Alright, so we're running 6 traps in total. 3 Navigation. And 3 Eternal Soul. I was thinking about bumping Eternal Soul down to make room for an Eradicator Epidemic Virus, but haven't decided on that yet, so why don't you guys let me know in the comments and see what y'all might think. But Navigation's really good because, you know, special summon Dark Magician from your hand and special summon another level 7 or below Dark Spellcaster type monster from your deck directly. So it's really good, and plus, you know, just helps you get your Dark Magicians out a lot faster. And the fact that it's a trap card, you can activate it during your opponent's turn. So if you have a circle out, it just combos so heavily well. Alright, so moving on to the extra deck. We're running 2 copies of Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. Because again, this card is so good. If this card is in your main monster zone along with Eternal Soul, you pretty much created an eternal blockade because your opponent cannot target your back row or destroy them by card effects, so that's also really good. So yeah, Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, definitely a must. 1 Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, just because she allows you to discard 1 card from your hand and target 1 card on your opponent's field and destroy it. So just a good way to start wiping out boards. And since, you know, Nightmare Goblin is banned, this is a good way, you know, to target like your opponent's boards 1 by 1, you know, because like Goblin had that layer where you can't target your opponent's cards, and that was just, I mean, yeah, the additional Normal Summon was good enough, but I feel like the targeting was a little too much, so that's like, man, that's really hard to get around. Moving on to the XCs, we're running 1 Red Ice Flare Metal Dragon, just because, you know, be able to burn your opponent from activating card effects. We don't actually use its effect to special summon a Red Eyes, but still a good card, you know. 1 Galaxy Tomahawk. Just, you know, helps us get into some really good link plays. I don't have Cleafort Genius, but I found another card that's just as good, which I'll get to in just a moment. But yeah, I'll need to pick up a Cleafort Genius eventually. But for now, the choice I have is pretty much a good substitute because, you know, all the tokens are wind attributes, and token generators are still pretty important. So yeah. Next up, we got Norito, the Moral Leader, just to negate spells and traps, and we got plenty of level 6s, the Apprentice Illusion and Dark Magician Girl. 1 Big Eye, you know, change of heart. You know, you gotta have a change of heart of some kind. 1 Ebon Illusion, just to help you special and banish cards, you know, whenever your normal spellcasters engage in battle. So, excellent choice. Moving on to the links, we got 1 Link Spider, just because, you know, standard. 1 Proxy. Again, standard. 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice. I literally just put Wee and Witch together. That my bad. But anyway, it just requires 2 dark monsters, and we got plenty of dark monsters, so a really good card, and just bumps up your the power of all your dark attribute monsters in this deck. So really great card, and also weakens out light attribute ones. Moving on, we got Greatfly, which we use for the tokens from Tomahawk. So yeah, Greatfly is just there, you know, just for link material. Basically just to help us get to our Link 3 or Link 4s. Speaking of Link 3, we got the 1 Decotogger, also standard. 1 Saryuja Skulljared, real easy to make in this deck. Like, there's really no reason not to be able to make Saryuja. And 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon. Just because, like, you know, whenever a monster is special summoned on whatever points it, or whatever arrows it's pointing to, it wipes out the main monster zones. And what's good is like Eternal Soul protects your Dark Magicians from card effects while they're in the main monster zones. So that's why it's really good. So like if you special summon Dark Magician the Dragon Knight to one of its points, it'll be safe because Eternal Soul is going to protect it, and Dark Magician the Dragon Knight counts as Dark Magician. So amazing card, and I felt like Topologic Bomber Dragon was one of the best Link 4s to play in this deck. So yeah. Well, anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I really hope you guys enjoyed my Dark Magician Turbo Fusion deck. And, hey, give it a spin. And I'll catch you guys again on the next video.